Okay guys, so we're going to start taking a look at what we call dimensional analysis. I just introduced that a little bit today, and so this will be a little more formal presentation on this. Sometimes you hear this referred to as factor label method. It's a pretty essential tool that we use when you get into the harder college level physical sciences, so say chemistry and physics. So we really want you to be kind of familiar with this. So this is section 1.6. There's some questions right there. Those are at the end of chapter 1. You've got to get those done before we get to the test. Like I said, we probably won't get to that next week, but you don't want to wait too long. So get to those when it's a little more fresh for you. All right, so I'm going to send you a conversion practice worksheet. It's going to look like this. Some of this stuff you've done before. I'm going to ask that you use or try to use on separate paper dimensional analysis for solving any of these. I understand it's going to slow you down for some of the really simple problems, and if it's a really simple one, sometimes we can just move the decimal, so it depends on what it is a little bit. But let's take a look at that. All right, so we're going to convert 25.5 miles into feet. Well, let's go ahead and see what we can do with that. All right, so if I've got 25.5 miles, what do I need to do this problem? Well, what I need to be able to do is convert from, I need probably a bigger decimal for you to see it there. I need to have the conversion factor from miles to feet. Well, I'm going to give you another sheet. It's got a whole bunch of conversion factors on the top, and that one we're going to do next week. But anyway, it tells you that there is 5,200, hopefully I got that right, 80 feet in 1 mile. Okay. So the unit of the mile cancels out, and then all you have to do is multiply the 25.5 times the 5,280 feet, and boom, you've got your answer. Okay, so not too tough. And I know this is going to slow you down doing these conversion factors like this for a little while, but just, bear with me, try to do that for right now. You'll learn this technique for when we get into the harder stuff, and then we're really going to need it. All right, so let's get rid of that one. Okay, let's take a look at a little easier one here. So we've got 65.85 liters, and we go into milliliters. So right here on this, we have all the metric prefixes that we'd use in this stuff. And so some of you may have done this move the decimal kind of thing a little bit, and that's okay to do for something that's this straightforward. So if you got 65.85 liters, okay, liters doesn't have a prefix on it, so that's what we call our base unit. And if I'm going to liters to milliliters, I go deci, centi, milli. I would move my decimal 1, 2, 3 spaces, so then I'd have 65850 milliliters. Okay, because we don't want to get bogged down too much when we are doing a really fast metric conversion where you're just changing prefixes. I think that's just fine to do that way. Now remember, that 0 wouldn't be significant. I didn't add a sig fig on this. And whether you put it in scientific notation or not doesn't really matter much. Okay, so let's see if we can't do something that's a little bit more difficult. So we're going to have to do some work with that. Let's see if I can't slide down here a little more. Okay, so let's do a little more difficult one. So sometimes what we have to do is we're going to have different volumes that we're working with, or excuse me, densities we're working with, which is a mass and a volume. So now you've got 2 units to convert with. This is when we really start needing to have the dimensional analysis stuff a little bit. So this one right here, you're going from 75.5 milligrams per liter into how many centigrams per liter would that be? All right, so let's make this a little bigger. So now I'm going to have to do 2 units that I actually have to convert. I've got my milligrams and I got my liters right here. So I'm trying to convert the milligram to a centigram. So maybe off on the side or something, you've got to figure out the relationship between the two. Well, a centi is 10 times bigger than a milli, so that means there'd be 10 millis in a centi. So, all right, I need my milligrams down here. 10 milligrams is equal to 1 centigram. So that's going to handle that part right there. Milligrams cancels, that's what I wanted. And so basically, I'd have 75.5 divided by 10, and that would give me centigrams per liter. But I don't want to just have centigrams per liter. I want to actually have centigrams per milliliter. So I've got another conversion I've got to do. All right, so the liter's on the bottom. So I'm going to need the liter on the top here. So how many milliliters is in an actual liter? Well, there's 1,000. And we're going to want you to know that. By the time you're a sophomore in high school, you kind of need to know your metric prefixes. There's 1,000 millis in the center one. Whoops, I made a mistake right there. So there's, no I didn't, that's right. So I was looking at the centi. 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters, so we're pretty good. Let's see if what I wanted to cancel does. I got a liter on the bottom here, it's on the top there. Well, I was trying to get rid of that. What's the only units I have left? Well, I've got centigrams per milliliter, and that's what the problem was asking for right there. So also, if you want to do some cancellation stuff, you can look if you have some numbers on the top and the bottom, not just units that cancel out. So it doesn't look like there's any numbers that are going to cancel out. So I'd have 75.5 divided by 10, then divided by another 1,000. So I'm going to basically be dividing by 10,000. So my final answer I believe would be 0.00755 Now I still have the same number of sig figs, or if I put this in scientific notation, it would be 7.55 times 10 to the minus 3 centigrams per milliliter. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. We've got this worksheet right here, and I want you to just work on the first page of that. Then in class tomorrow, we'll be working on the second page of this when you've got some more time. Now I'm sharing another one with you as well that's got a bunch of more unit conversion equivalencies on the top. So like how many feet are in a mile, and also maybe how many liters is equal to a quart. So that kind of stuff's the top. Don't worry about trying to do that yet. It's just got the numbers on there that you need for doing some of these conversions. So anyway, so you're going to try to do the first page. Okay, that's it for this, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.